Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. I have the story of Helel right here with me. I'm continuing the chapter by chapter series. A little read through of just going through old books that I've published. I forget when like 5 years ago? I believe I published this 5 years ago. Yeah. Anyways, I am going to be continuing with chapter 3. So the other 2 chapters and the prologue have already been posted on this channel. So you can go back and if you want to catch up, then go ahead and watch those. Or you can run over to my website and download the book itself for free. Because, that's just how I did it. So, I just wanted people to have something to read if they wanted. Sorry. I need to get some more. Oh well. So, what else was I was gonna say something else. But I'm blanking. So I'm just going to start reading, honestly. Chapter 3 is To Be Forgiven. The glen was covered in a vibrant green, sprinkled with the buds of spring. Through it flowed the Rio de Vida, as appropriately termed in the southern region. Along the banks were pitched tents, fires blazed in stone pits, and around each flame sat 5 to 6 people, hacking away at stones or stripping tree limbs with long, wicked knives. "Do we go say hi?" Angelique asked, fidgeting as if nervous at the prospect of meeting new people. Relatable. "I don't see why not. The father should have sent word about us by now." Vargas shrugged, starting down the hill. This tribe followed the doctrine of the Lord and adhered to the book of law. Unlike the village in the mountains, these people were not indicted by evil. It was a relief to be able to meet humans as such. After the previous instance of meeting the fruit of man, Helel had grown nervous that there would be none different from them. "My brothers, my sisters," Vargas called with his arms spread, a smile plastered on his face. He spoke in the tribe's language. One blessing they had received when knighted as guardians was the gift of tongue. Any and all languages were available to them at any waking moment. The tribesmen looked up with alarm, but soon their faces softened and they jumped up in celebration. Hoots and whistles resounded from within the horde of a few hundred men and women. Helel was unsure of how to react. This was his first friendly encounter with man, and it surely exceeded his expectations. "Welcome, guardians," a gruff and hearty voice sounded above the shouts. The jumping tribesmen settled, and they made way for a man adorned with a tall headpiece made of tanned hide and fanned-out feathers. He wore robes of wolfskin and buffalo, ringlets jangled from his wrists, and long beaded necklaces hung to his waist. "Word of your feats has reached even this humble tribe. We are honored to receive you as our guests. How go you?" "We go well, thank you. It is our honor to be welcomed with open arms," Genesis replied, taking the hand of the tribe's chief. The chief bowed his head low, for although he stood above the people of the tribe, no man stood above a guardian. "As it should be. No man can compare to your strength." A fleeting whisper tickled his ear. Helel frowned. That voice did not come from himself, nor was it something akin to what the Lord would say. What was that? He wondered, uncomfortable. The sensation left prickles at the nape of his neck. The guardians were led through the tribe's territory, fleeting around the banks of the Rio de Vida and ending towards the edge of the glen, where it rolled out into wooded hills, not wooden. They were taken into the largest tent Helel had ever laid eyes on. It was larger than any he was aware existed, standing above him at exactly 17 feet and flaring out at 10 feet on each side, as he could sense clearly with his space. Inside, hides were strewn out over the ground and smoke was curling from a fireless pit in the center, rising towards the hole where the poles met. "Sit, let us talk. Tell me of your journey," the chief said, sitting across the pit. The guardians explained everything from the moment their eyes opened until present, including the desecration of the mountain village and their insinuations to travel further south in order to fell yet another group of idol worshippers. Helel didn't speak during that time. He instead sat and listened. It didn't feel right to say anything here, not while the others were covering everything. Once they finished their recollections, Skooky said, "So we would appreciate some accommodation while we are passing through. We are still new to this world and have yet to learn skills that your tribe has been taught since infancy. Our survival is obvious since we are guarded by the Holy One, but it would make things simpler if we could fend for ourselves." "Yes, we open our door to the mighty guardians. Indeed, the Lord has graced us with his presence. We would be honored to teach you our ways of life." The chief rumbled. Sorry, I feel a cough coming up. "You're doing that wrong." Helel spun around, nearly sending the knife in his palm flying. A boy of maybe 13 years stood over him, staring at him with blank, black eyes. "Is that so?" He hunkered back over the stick he was stripping. It was going to be used as a spear shaft once he finished. "You're supposed to start from the bottom and go up, not start from the top and go down. You can hurt yourself." "I see." Helel corrected his hand, digging the knife into the wood and pushing up. It was more difficult this way, but it did pose less danger. The boy settled on the ground next to him, tossing a log into the fire and watching as sparks lifted high into the air, overseeing every activity on the ground. What a dream, to be like a spark, free of worries or responsibility. It leaves its nest and flies away without a second thought, taking hold of the breeze and finding itself in a place it has never seen before. Wouldn't that be nice? The boy stared at the waning moon. Low, moonlit clouds floated by, obscuring the night's light and unveiling it over and over. "Yes, I suppose so." Helel set down his knife and leaned back, staring at the stars through the clouds. My name is Quickfoot. My mother is Pure Heart, and my father is dead. How can I be free to roam when caring for my sickly mother? Guardian, what should I do? Helel's throat constricted. If you're hoping to find counsel with me, then I must disappoint you. I'm still new to this world, newer than you are, and have no familial ties on this planet. The only bonds I have walking the ground are those of my fellows, so I cannot give you the proper advice. Do you not have unyielding wisdom and power? The boy innocently asked. No, only the wise ruler has such. I see. Silence fell, but it wasn't heavy. In fact, he quite liked being in the company of Quickfoot. This boy had a responsibility that he intended to keep, despite how it shackled him. I'm the same, am I not? I hold a great responsibility to demolish the cities who built their walls against the Heavenly One. But does it not shackle me? Am I not a slave? You can be free. The familiar sensation of the voice from before lifted the hairs on his arms and legs. It was not the feeling of absolute power and authority. It had a sickening feeling, like a snake dragging itself across his back. Freedom. Can I really find it? Hello! A sharp voice shouted from behind. He was grabbed by the shoulder, lifted, and spun around to face a red-faced, fuming Skooky. His violet eyes flared with anger beyond means. Where is this unfounded fury coming from? He frowned, unsure of what he did to incur such wrath from the Shadow Guardian. Where is your mind going? Why can you not hear the Lord's cries? Why must I be told by the Heavenly One that you cannot hear him? Have you shut your senses, your mind, your heart to the one who breathed us life? Wake up! Helel was so shaken that he didn't know how to respond. How did Skooky know? He trembled with fear as he realized what was happening to him. How could he possibly twist his mind to believe that his mission shackled him? This was an honorable position, and he was the only one who could fill it. Go and beg for his forgiveness. Explain yourself to the Father, Helel, for he yearns to hear you so. Quickfoot watched them with wide eyes, for Helel was not being scolded in the tribe's language. He hung his head low and stalked away, upriver towards the outskirts of the camp. The water trickled silently into the night. The light from the campfires would not reach where he was. Helel waded out towards a protruding stone in the middle of the river. He dragged himself up and sat on it, shaking from the chill that clung to him. Above him, the clouds broke and the stars gleamed down at him. The moon smiled as it watched him bow his head and close his eyes, opening his heart to the calls of the Lord. "I am here," he whimpered. "Are you afraid?" The feeling of complete dominance overwhelmed him, and tears wrung themselves around his eyes. "Yes, I am afraid." "Why are you afraid?" "Because I have been negligent and allowed my mind to be swayed by the temptations of this world. I have been tainted time and time again, stained as a sinner would be." "Hello. When you doubt, then ask me. Ask me who you are and how much I love you, and I will answer. I will forgive. Yes, Father. Thank you. Do not lose sight of who I made you to be, for if you lose sight of yourself, you lose sight of me. You are not alone in this world. You are not the only one who holds such gruesome tasks. The guardians are not one, but 7. Do not neglect your bond with them, for it is true, and you are aware of it. Yes, Father. Now, go to the territory of the Jebusites, to the city of Mai, and see what they have become. They have lost sight of me completely and have lost the sense of their humanity, as did the people of the mountain. Destroy the city of Mai, but bring out one person, Alvin, for he has remained faithful all his days. I will follow your command." And that concludes chapter 3. Thank you for coming around. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. I can answer whatever I can. If you're interested in hearing the rest of the book, there are 10 chapters in this one, and that was chapter 3, so we've got a ways to go. Just come back, I guess. Thanks again, and I don't know what else to say. See you around, maybe. Thanks, and good night.